Whether you were a content creator spending your nights just like grinding for views, or even if you're just a fan wondering why your absolute favorite artist suddenly vanished from your daily feed, you have probably felt a very specific kind of modern frustration.
Oh, absolutely. It's a massive headache for everyone involved.
Right. And you've probably noticed the disconnect. I mean, for a creator, maybe you've found your voice, you've built your community, and the follower count on your profile is ticking up every single day.
The graph is pointing up and to the right.
Exactly, up and to the right. But then when you look at the actual engagement, the views, the comments,
Yeah.
the people genuinely interacting with what you make, it just feels like your audience is slipping through your fingers.
Yeah, it really does.
You have more followers than ever, but somehow you're talking to an increasingly empty room.
It completely defies basic logic when you first encounter it. You put in the labor, you accumulate the numbers, and yet the actual connection itself is just vanishing.
It's crazy.
It is. I mean, the underlying assumption of the internet used to be that building a massive audience simply meant you had a massive audience. But now, that equation is completely broken.
And that broken equation is exactly the starting point for our deep dive today. We're exploring a really fascinating analysis provided by Spencer Taylor. He's the Chief Technology Officer at a company called Textogram.
Right, and his insights are super relevant right now.
They really are. Taylor has been studying this exact issue, which he calls the creator algorithm problem, right from the inside. His research is grounded in direct, day-to-day experience working with creators and influencers across multiple platforms.
And they all slamming into this exact same invisible wall.
Yeah, exactly. So the mission of our discussion today is to really pull apart this research to understand what Taylor identifies as the silent crisis of the creator economy.
It's such a good term for it, the silent crisis.
We need to look at why this disconnect is happening on a purely mechanical level. And more importantly, we're going to explore the solution he proposes, which is this fundamental shift away from algorithm dependency and toward absolute direct audience ownership.
Which is a huge paradigm shift.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because to really grasp the absurdity of this silent crisis, I feel like we need a clear visual. So imagine you decide to throw a massive party.
Okay, I'm with you.
You send out the invites, and 500,000 people, like 500,000 people RSVP yes. They explicitly say, I want to be at this party.
That is a very big party.
Right, so you rent the venue, you set up the music, the night arrives, you look out the window. All 500,000 people are standing outside.
Wow.
But there's a bouncer at the front door. And this is a bouncer you didn't hire and you don't control. And he is arbitrarily only letting 10% of your guests inside.
Just 10%.
Yeah, the rest of your fans are just standing on the sidewalk, eventually getting bored,
Yeah.
assuming you didn't want them there, and going home.
That is a staggering way to visualize the daily reality of almost every major social platform right now. I mean, the guests want to be there, the host wants them inside, but the intermediary is aggressively managing the door.
So let's talk about the mechanics of that bouncer. Like, why is the bouncer turning the fans away?
Well, Taylor's research makes it very clear that creators aren't just being paranoid here. They aren't imagining this decline in reach.
It's a real thing.
It is a verifiable, structural shift across the entire industry. What Taylor highlights is the industry-wide pivot from audience-first distribution to algorithm-first distribution.
Okay, audience first to algorithm first.
Right. If we look back a few years, the social contract of these platforms was surprisingly simple. It was basically chronological. A user hits follow, and the platform puts your content in their feed when you post it.
Right, that was the audience first era. The user actually curated their own experience.
Exactly. But today, the architecture has totally changed. A follower no longer guarantees visibility. Even if a person intentionally clicks that follow button, they're absolutely not guaranteed to see your next post.
Which is just so frustrating for everyone.
It is. The algorithm has inserted itself as the ultimate gatekeeper, basically deciding who gets access, when they get access, and, how often.
And the numbers Taylor found are just startling. He notes that creators with 5,000 followers, 50,000 followers, or even 500,000 followers are struggling to reach even 10% of their own audience.
Yeah, less than 10%.
That means 90% of the people who specifically asked to see your work are being actively shielded from it.
What's fascinating here is the crucial distinction Taylor makes between performance and delivery. Because when a creator's numbers suddenly drop off a cliff, Their first instinct is usually profound self-doubt.
Oh, for sure. They think it's their fault.
Exactly. They immediately think my content is getting weaker, the audience is just tired of me. But Taylor's analysis shows that the issue isn't creator performance at all.
It's the delivery.
Right. The content hasn't degraded. The delivery system itself has fundamentally changed its priorities. Taylor aptly describes this new reality as algorithm roulette.
Algorithm roulette. I like that.
Every time you publish, you basically spin the wheel, hoping the algorithmic gatekeeper decides your post aligns with whatever random metric it happens to be optimizing for that specific hour.
But, I have to admit some genuine confusion here. Let's look at this from the perspective of the platform. If I'm a user and I explicitly ask the platform to show me a specific creator's videos, and that creator is making good stuff that keeps my eyes glued to the screen, why would the platform hide it?
It's a good question.
If the goal of a tech company is to keep me on the app, what is the platform's incentive to play algorithm roulette and frustrate both the creator and the viewer? It just seems completely counterintuitive to their own goals.
It does seem that way, but to understand the incentive, we have to look beyond user satisfaction and, well, follow the money.
Always follow the money.
Always. The algorithm isn't broken. It is functioning exactly as designed to maximize profit. The algorithm filters content based on extreme engagement metrics, so things like watch time, controversy, rapid sharing.
Okay.
If your post doesn't trigger a massive immediate spike in those specific behavioral traps, the platform suppresses it in favor of something more addictive.
Wow.
But the real genius of the system is the leverage it creates. That gap between a creator's follower count and their actual reach, that missing 90% in your party analogy, that is incredibly lucrative real estate.
I see. Here's where it gets really interesting. Because if organic reach is artificially choked off, the creator gets desperate to reach the people they've already earned.
Exactly. The panic sets in. When creators see their reach plummeting from 100,000 views down to like 8,000, they feel immense pressure to compensate.
So how do they fix it?
They pay the platform, they hit the boost post button, they run paid advertising campaigns just to reach the exact same people who had already clicked follow a year ago.
That is just wild.
Or, if they can't afford to pay, they exhaust themselves by publishing twice as frequently, just hoping to beat the odds. And what does publishing twice as frequently do?
It just gives the platform double the free inventory to run corporate advertisements against.
Bingo!
Man, the irony is just overwhelming when you lay out the mechanics like that.
Yeah.
The platforms are essentially forcing creators to rent access to the very audiences they built themselves.
Yes, exactly.
The creator does all the heavy lifting. They write the scripts, they film the videos, they build the trust, they attract the audience, and then the platform just quietly builds a toll booth between the creator and the fans. It's a completely manufactured dependency.
And that manufactured dependency is the absolute core of the silent crisis Taylor is diagnosing. The platforms have engineered an unbreakable loop.
A loop of burnout, basically.
Yeah. Creators are working significantly harder today than they were 5 years ago, posting more frequently, producing higher quality content, and just burning themselves out. But in return, they are receiving less stability, shrinking reach, and practically zero control over their own businesses.
So the core problem isn't creativity.
Right. The core problem of the modern creator economy isn't a lack of creativity or a lack of good ideas. The core problem is restricted access. The tech platforms fundamentally benefit from keeping creators in a state of dependent anxiety rather than a state of empowerment.
It's exhausting just thinking about the treadmill these people are on. The belt keeps speeding up, but the finish line keeps moving further away.
That's a great way to put it.
So if the algorithmic bottleneck is completely severing the creator from their fan base, like if the bouncer simply will not let the guests into the party, the only logical way out is a system that circumvents the platform entirely.
Exactly.
And that brings us to the specific solution Taylor's research points to, which is textogram.
Right, because if the underlying disease is algorithm-first distribution, the cure has to be a return to guaranteed direct distribution.
Okay, so how does textogram actually do that?
Textogram is an infrastructure designed to give creators their audience back instantly, with guaranteed delivery worldwide, completely bypassing any algorithmic interference. It shifts the communication channel from a public, algorithm-managed feed to a private, direct text message.
So if a creator is essentially starting their own independent communication network off-platform, they need an entirely new toolkit, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Looking at Taylor's analysis, Textogram isn't just a basic group chat app. It's built around the very specific logistical nightmares of managing an audience at scale.
Right, because scale changes everything.
Exactly. And first off, there are no ads, no behavioral tracking, and no data harvesting. It is a clean, direct line. But then you look at the granular tools designed to reduce friction. They include typo and grammar corrections, saved groups, reusable templates, and AI-powered rephrasing.
Let's unpack how that AI rephrasing actually functions in practice, because it directly addresses the creator burnout we just discussed.
Yeah, tell me about that.
If you transition 50,000 followers into a direct texting ecosystem, the sheer logistics of communication can become a 247 job.
Yeah.
You aren't just broadcasting anymore, you are managing a living community.
Right, people are texting you back.
Exactly. Having an AI assistant that can instantly rephrase a hasty thought into a polished, brand-appropriate message or, perfectly adjust the tone for different segments of your audience, it removes a massive amount of cognitive load. It prevents the creator from drowning in their own success.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
And the global reach aspect is fascinating too. The research notes they have integrated translation capabilities for 40 different languages.
Which is huge for international audiences.
Totally. Alongside structural features like dual SIM support and global usage without contracts. I mean, if I'm a creator, that dual SIM support is huge. It means I don't have to carry two phones or hand out my personal private cell number to a million people.
No, you definitely don't want to do that.
Right. I can operate a massive, distinct business line right from my existing device, fully protected by their privacy protocols.
It allows the creator to maintain boundaries while scaling globally. You can text a fan in Tokyo, and the system translates it seamlessly, all without a social media algorithm deciding whether that fan in Japan is currently valuable enough to see your post.
It's a massive logistical toolkit. But, as I was reviewing Taylor's findings, there was one highly specific technical detail that jumped out at me.
Oh, yeah. Which one?
Amidst all the talk of AI and global reach, the research explicitly highlights a feature called 20-second text intervals for deliverability.
Yes.
In an era of instant millisecond communication, why would Taylor highlight a built-in delay? Why does a tiny granular detail like a 20-second interval matter so much to a creator's business?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, that 20-second interval is actually the ultimate proof that Textogram's architecture is focused entirely on guaranteeing access.
How so?
You see, bypassing the social media algorithm is only half the battle. If a creator decides to blast out 100,000 text messages at the exact same millisecond, the automated spam filters run by the major telecom carriers like AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, they will immediately recognize that massive spike in traffic.
Oh, I see where this is going.
Yeah. They will flag it as suspicious, categorize it as spam, and silently block it.
So you haven't actually solved the problem at all. You'd just be trading a social media bouncer for a cellular network bouncer. The telecom companies would throttle the reach before it ever even hit the phone.
Exactly the problem. By engineering the system to send messages in highly precise 20-second intervals, Textogram fundamentally solves the deliverability issue.
That is so clever.
It really is. It paces the distribution so that the outbound messages mimic the flow of organic, natural human traffic. It slips right past the carrier filters. It guarantees that when a creator hits send on a massive announcement, that message genuinely lands in the pocket of their community members, rather than getting vaporized in a cellular network's spam folder. It's a deeply technical detail, but it is literally the difference between shouting into the void and actually being heard.
Okay, so we've solved the delivery issue. The message bypasses the algorithm, avoids the spam filters, and actually hits the phone. The bouncer is gone, and everyone who RSVP'd gets into the party.
Right.
But a text message doesn't inherently pay the rent. If a creator is moving their primary audience interaction away from YouTube's AdSense program or Instagram's monetization features, they are leaving a massive established paycheck on the table.
That is a very real concern.
The math has to make sense. How does this model alter the creator's financial reality?
This brings us to the economic engine of Taylor's research, which is the Influencer Partner Program. This is where the business model fundamentally shifts from renting a platform to owning an enterprise. They provide a massive physical and digital toolkit specifically aimed at replacing and even exceeding traditional monetization.
And the digital tools here are really focused on reducing the friction of moving an audience. Like, they provide a digital e-card and a capture page system.
Right.
For anyone unfamiliar, a capture page is essentially a custom, highly streamlined landing page where fans can drop their phone number to join the creator's community in just one click. It makes the onboarding process seamless.
It removes all the hurdles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Creators also get a free customer portal, 2,500 free text credits to start communicating immediately, and access to a discount savings platform.
Yeah, it's a very comprehensive setup.
And they can even promote their traditional social media directly on their Textagram website, so they aren't completely abandoning their old channels. They were just building a secure bridge away from them.
But the financial structure is what completely rewrites the rules for the creator. Instead of relying on fractions of a penny from ad revenue, which, let's be honest, fluctuates wildly based on the algorithm's mood, creators in this partner program participate in a fundamentally different economy.
Okay, break that down for me.
They earn upfront commissions, profit shares, and, this is the critical piece, a 100% match commission on every person who purchases a text credit.
Wait, really? 100% match?
Yes. They even get direct access to Textagram's leadership team to help guide the platform's future. They are no longer treated as expendable users generating free content for a tech giant. They are treated as vested business partners in the communication network itself.
So, what does this all mean? Let's translate these abstract features into a concrete, real-world scenario. Imagine you were a creator who has spent 6 months of your life and thousands of dollars developing a physical product or maybe a massive documentary-style video project.
Okay.
In the old algorithm roulette model, launch day is completely terrifying. You post the link, you cross your fingers, and you just pray the algorithm favors your specific post on that specific Tuesday.
It's totally nerve-wracking.
If the algorithm decides to bury it, your massive project fails. Not because the product was bad, not because your fans didn't want it, but simply because nobody saw it. The toll booth was closed.
You are entirely at the mercy of a machine you do not understand and cannot control. Your financial security is basically based on a guess.
But with this model of true ownership, launch day looks completely different. You draft your announcement, you utilize the AI to refine it, you hit send on Textagram, and instantly and with absolute certainty that your entire community, all the people who actively asked to hear from you, just felt their phones buzz in their pocket.
Yeah, exactly.
You know your message reached the buyers. The financial anxiety evaporates because you are no longer depending on a platform's daily mood to dictate your income.
And that is Taylor's ultimate overarching finding. If you take away anything from his research, it is this. Creators today do not need more social platforms with shiny new gimmicks.
No, they really don't.
They don't need more augmented reality filters to distract them. They need ownership. They need control. They need a system that is built fundamentally for them to facilitate their business rather than engineered against them to extract ad revenue. They need direct, unmediated lines to their audience that no tech company can throttle, limit, or manipulate.
It's a really powerful shift in perspective. We've journeyed today through a really frustrating reality, this silent crisis, where brilliant creators are stuck in a loop of forced dependency, playing an unwinnable game of algorithm roulette just to speak to their own dedicated fans.
Yeah, it's a bleak picture when you step back and look at it.
But we've also explored Spencer Taylor's vision of the future, a model of direct access through tools like Textagram, where creators finally take the power back and own their distribution lines.
It's an evolutionary step for the digital economy. We are watching the transition from a system of rented attention to a system of reliable, owned connection.
And I want you, listening right now, to consider how this affects you. Even if you have never posted video, recorded a song, or called yourself a creator, think about your own digital life as a consumer.
That's a great point.
When algorithms dictate what content reaches your screen, our entire view of the world, our culture, our news, and our entertainment is being silently curated by a platform's profit motives. We only see the reality that makes the tech companies money.
It's a bit unsettling.
It is. Understanding tools like Textagram shows us that there is a quiet rebellion happening. Creators are trying to shatter that glass ceiling. They're trying to take back the power of direct communication, to talk to us without a corporate filter dictating the terms. If you're curious about how this all works in practice or how creators are utilizing these tools, the research points to textagram.now.site for more information on the ecosystem we've been unpacking today.
But as with any massive shift in how humanity communicates, this raises an important question.
Left out.
We've spent a lot of time today exploring how direct private access solves the crisis for established creators who already have an audience to transition. But if all the successful established creators move their vast communities off these public algorithmic platforms and lock them into private direct text messaging ecosystems, how will new creators ever be discovered?
Right.
Right? By solving the immediate crisis of access and protecting the creators of today, do we accidentally engineer a future where the digital landscape is entirely siloed and we only ever hear from the people we already know?
Wow. That really is the ultimate trade-off of ownership, isn't it? We fire the arbitrary bouncer, we let every single guest into the party, but then we lock the doors behind us so no one else can interfere with the music.
Exactly.
But if the doors are locked, who is going to show up to the next party? Something for you to mull over until next time?
Yeah.